9 years. I don't think I've ever looked back to see how long it's been. 9 years. Sweet Jesus. That's over half of my life. Because I'm fucking 14. And half my life was what? When I was 7? And I started watching How to Train a Dragon when I was 5. Wow. 9 years. I never realised how long this franchise has been going on for. It just felt like it's always been here. It just feels like it's always been a part of me, and now, with the new movie coming out in America, and I've actually already seen the new movie. Now it's come to an end, and I don't know how to feel. Because I have so many things to say about it. But so many things to say about this amazing franchise. Which is why I thought... Oh, God. Just give me a second. Which is why I thought today, for this week's video, I'll go over my much beloved franchise. My childhood. The thing that I grew up with. The thing which makes me today. How to Train a Dragon. Because I've never gone through it. Because I saw the new movie a week ago. And there'll be no spoilers, don't worry. I saw it a week ago, and to do it, before I went to see it, I rewatched all of these. I rewatched the first one, which was my favourite episodes of the TV show. I watched the second movie. I didn't watch Race to the Edge. I would have if I had an extra day, but sadly I didn't. So instead I just watched these, and I thought, instead of having them all boggle up in my head, I thought I would display and basically just talk about my love and thoughts of this franchise. So yeah, I think we should finally first go into the first one, which is How to Train a Dragon. I was 5 when this movie came out. I was 5. I don't remember appreciating it that much. I was like, oh, I was just like, I thought it was just another movie to the pile, and I didn't really care about it. And of course I got into the expanded material, which really got me hooked on the franchise, and then rewatching it recently, it's way better than I thought it was. Because when I watched it, I couldn't take my eyes off the screen, because I watched this on my TV downstairs, and I hadn't watched it in a few years at this point, and I was watching it, and I couldn't separate my eyes from the screen. I forgot how amazing this movie was. And I hate myself for that. How dare I forget how good this incredible movie is? Like, after the movie was finished, after the credits, because I watched the credits because I never mentioned this, I've never really talked about this, but the music in this series. The music is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, like, I watched multiple videos and people were saying, oh, the music is phenomenal, and I never really got it. And then, going back and watching the first movie, I really see what people meant. The music is absolutely phenomenal. And the animation. This came out in what? 2010? Just think about how much technology and animation has evolved since 2010. Then you go back and look at this. I thought this was going to be really dated, going back into it. And it wasn't. The animation was absolutely amazing. Apart from the scene where Toothless was trying to get fish out of the water, the animation was a little rough there, but apart from that, this animation, this is absolutely spectacular. How dare I forget how good this was? I was sitting, even after the movie was finished, after the credits, because of course I listened to the music as I said earlier, I just sat there for 5 minutes, just thinking about it. And I remember, in my head I just kept on constantly saying, this was better than I remembered. And how dare I forget how good this movie was. Rewatching this movie and realising how good it was gave me the opportunity to fall in love with this franchise all over again. This movie is absolutely incredible. 8 out of 10. Move on. Then we move on to the goddamn expanded material. Okay, even though this movie is really good, this isn't what got me hooked onto the franchise. These is what got me hooked onto the franchise. Made me realize, and what made me fall in love with this franchise. I mean, like, after watching this movie, I watched Riders. Now, let me first go over Riders. Can I just say, overall, this Riders and Defenders is a mixed bag. It's mostly just a heap of different ideas going on at the same time, and it's quite messy. Which is why I now see what people mean by Race to the Edge being superior. And even though I don't have Netflix, I've watched every single episode. I now see what people mean by Race to the Edge being far superior. Okay, first going on to Riders. I watched every episode of the first box set, of the first DVD, Riders. And it was decent. It was decent at best. I thought it was... there were some standouts, but mostly just watched them to have context for this. But then again, some of these do have some of the highlights of the franchise for me. For example, Part 2 has Toothless's Rival. One of my favourite episodes out of all of the shows. I like this. I'd sort of say, I like Riders of Berk. Move on! Defenders. Now, just a little bit of context. A friend actually got me into this franchise. A friend who I've actually lost contact with. He left me for dead. In fact, doesn't deserve to talk to me anymore. And he got me into this. Because I remember going over to his house once, and I remember him holding a Toothless toy. And I asked, "Oh, where did you get that from?" He said, "Oh, it's from this new TV show. I think you'd like it." And... Okay, first going back to Riders for a second. I know, I'll get back onto Defenders. Going on to this bit. Torch. The episode with Torch. I forget what the episode is called, but I remember watching the Torch episode before knowing there even was a TV show. Because they aired this show on CBBC. Which is British Broadcasting Central Network. I don't know. The BBC is basically a government-funded TV program, and they aired the episodes of Dragons. And I remember coming across the episode with Torch, and I thought it was some kind of mini movie. I thought it was some kind of straight to TV, straight to DVD movie. without knowing it was a part of a TV show. Moving on to Defenders. This is the show, this is the thing that made me fall in love with this franchise. I mean, like, yes, writers did have a part in it with the Torch episode, but it's mainly because of this show. This show fell in love with this franchise. I watched I watched through the episodes. I watched my favourites. I watched the episode with the screaming deaths. I watched all the episodes with the screaming deaths. I can't remember the other episodes that I watched. And then this. The episodes, can I just say, the episodes with the squirrel is absolutely fantastic. Because since each of these episodes is, what, 25 minutes long, I personally think an average length of a episode of a TV show should be 50 minutes. 50 minutes gives you more than enough time to tell a good story. And the solo episodes did feel a bit short, they did feel a little bit trimmed down, because at the end of this day, this is a child show, and children can't even watch TV for 10 minutes now without getting bored. There's no way that they'll last for 50 minutes. But the part 1 and part 2 episodes, like, I think the part 1 and the part 2 episodes was for the screaming death in this one. I liked that story. And for this, the part 1 and part 2 episodes was for To View the Skrill, which is a 2-parter, which I just said, because I keep on repeating the same thing. That is a really good story. And then, of course, there's the season final. I really like the season final. And not much to say on Defenders, because most of the source of a franchise comes from the Netflix show, which there's, what, 6, 8 seasons of? I can't believe there's 6 to 8 seasons of one single Netflix show in which I have watched every single goddamn episode. I've never been so dedicated to a franchise. I mean, like, yes, there's the Jurassic Park franchise, I've watched every single movie. But every single movie is like 2 hours long, it's quite easy to watch because of course it's 2 hours. But I've never dedicated so much time to something and so much to a franchise than to How to Train Your Dragon. Because I know I've watched every single episode, and I have no idea how I've managed that. But once again, I didn't have a chance to watch Race to the Edge before seeing my third movie, because I watched these on Saturday, and then I watched these two on Sunday, and then How to Train Your Dragon 3: The Hidden World on Monday. And okay. I think now I should move on to the second movie. Okay. Just a little bit of context. Every single year, around about Christmas to New Year's Eve, the BBC starts airing How to Train Dragon 2. We started airing it last year, watched it, loved it. Now this year, I watched it and I absolutely loved it! But then, no more than a few days later, while editing that Metastalk Isle video, which I don't know if you guys saw, I watched How to Train Dragon 2 while editing that. It helped me get through it, because I watch movies while editing videos. It helps me. It helps me get through time since it takes so long to edit a video. And I remember loving it. And then I think I watched it one more time after that, in which I liked it. But then, coming around to it for the binge of the series, it just felt weird. I don't know, just coming out of it, I just felt... It felt like it felt bland. But again, normally I take a month to a year break in between me watching things. And this time it was, what, a month, 2 weeks after watching it. So, this is a truly fantastic movie. But I think the fact that I've watched this so many times this year did sort of underwhelm the experience. When I went to the cinemas to see this, I've done this with both movies. I went to see my parents. I went to see them with my parents. Let me rephrase that. I went to see both of these movies with my parents. It's one of the few times that me and my parents go to cinema together. Because normally I just go with my dad. We normally go to see Marvel movies and other stuff. And I don't normally go with my mum. Meanwhile, I went with my mum last year to see Aquaman, and we liked it. I really liked it. And when she went to see Mary Poppins with my cousins, and of course I didn't see that. Instead I stayed home with my dad. But I went to see the third movie with my parents. When I went to see the second movie, I took this Hook Fang toy with me. Because at the time, Hook Fang was my favourite dragon. Back then, I hated Toothless. I am not kidding you. I hated the main character. And I couldn't care less about the Vikings. It was just I remember just being about the dragons. I remember just wanting the dragons, not caring about Toothless, just wanting Hook Fang and the other dragons. And while watching the first movie, I truly found the source of this franchise. The source of the franchise was never just about the dragons. It was never just about the Vikings. It was never about Hook Fang, much to childhood me's disappointment. It was always about the friendship in between Hiccup and Toothless. When we watching the first one, I rediscovered that. I discovered that. And I fell in love with Toothless. I can now say I suddenly absolutely adore Toothless. Toothless is one of the cutest things I have ever seen. This franchise, it means so much to me. This franchise is my childhood. I would be a different person today if it wasn't thanks to this franchise. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Because I know I wouldn't love animals this much if it wasn't thanks to this franchise. Because I personally think the things which makes you who you are further in life is the stuff that you watch when you're young. If you watch dinosaurs while you're very young, it makes you become a dinosaur enthusiast later in your years. Maybe people wanting you to end up maybe wanting you to become a paleontologist. The thing is, franchises, what we watch when we're young affects us. It makes us who we are when we get older. And this is my franchise. This is the thing which I can solidly say, which I can hold deep in my heart and say, this was my childhood. And now, it's coming to an end. How to Train Dragon 3. I want to see How to Train Dragon 3. 3 days after it was released. February 3rd. Nearly 2 weeks ago. And I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. I had loads of expectations going into the movie. And when I came out, this feels weird. It feels weird. I know this sounds weird, but when I came out, I felt empty. I felt like there was a massive hole right here, right in my heart. And over time, that hole has slowly closed. Sorry about that. I thought my battery died, but it didn't. For some reason, it just stopped recording. Anyways, back to How to Train Your Dragon 3. It was a good movie. It was a damn good movie. But every single time I go to the movie, I get sucked into the movie. I don't notice my surroundings. I just solely focus on the movie in front of me. But while watching this movie, I kept on getting sucked out of the experience. Because I kept on thinking, couldn't stop thinking about the fact that this is the end. And I think that distracted me from my experience of the third movie. Which is why I'm gonna see it for a second time. I might see it, I'm hoping to see it a second time on Monday again. Because I'm heading away for the weekend, which is why I'm recording this now. I'm heading away for the weekend to watch it, to do stuff. Hell, fun fact, I'll actually be recording more of Prehistoric Planet while I'm there. And hopefully on Monday I'll have a chance to see the third movie again. Because when I came out of the third one, I had mixed opinions on it. And once I come back from seeing the third movie, I will make a video about it. I'll make my thoughts on it. I'll make a spoiler one, and I'll make a spoiler-free one. All I have to say now is, thank you, DreamWorks. Thank you for making who I am. Thank you for making my childhood. Thank you, Dean DeBloss. I'm hopefully pronouncing my name right. If you don't know him, he's the director of How to Train Your Dragon 2 and How to Train Your Dragon 3. I'm thanking him because I have forgot the two directors. Yes, there are two directors who made the first one. In fact, it's of their names listed here. Here we go. Directed by Chris Sanders and Dean DeBloss. He did help direct the first one. Thank you. Thank you, DreamWorks. I know Dean DeBloss. I know nobody from DreamWorks will ever see this, but thank you. Thank you for making my childhood. And now it's time for me to go because I am recording this. I'm recording a video about a franchise that I love on Valentine's Day. Well, all my friends are outside making jokes about their imaginary girlfriends. I am inside talking about my beloved franchise. So now, it's time for me to go. Here is Indominus rex01, roar into victory. And I'm not going to do the roll thing because frankly I can't be bothered at this point because the camera is very far back.